sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
On Monday, the 2nd of February 2026, you're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. It's a day of celebration. Why? Because of me and the number 2. On the 2nd day of the 2nd month of the 2nd year of the 1960s, at number 2 Charles Street in Banjul, the second child of his parents was born, and that's me. It's my 64th birthday. So thank you very much for celebrating with us. And who do we have to celebrate with us? Mr. Saikou Sawo, once of the Golden Era Party, now heading a merger with the People's Progressive Party, or PPP. Saikou, thanks for coming back to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. You were here when you fronted the GEP, Golden Era Party.
Correct. Yeah.
So first question, what convinced the Golden Era Party to merge with the PPP?
First, thanks for having me again on your platform, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much. You didn't bring a birthday present because we didn't tell you beforehand.
I didn't know. I was like, whoa, okay, this is good.
You could leave some money on the table when you leave.
No worries. No problem. Yes, so GEP and PPP, we joined PPP, because it's a very open-minded party, and it's a legacy party. They've been here since the First Republic.
Absolutely.
And their leadership structure speaks for itself. The party is evolving, and they're giving opportunities for young Gambians to come and also lead within the party, because you don't see that in other parties. It's like you have the same figure being the head for decades. So I think this is refreshing.
When you say decades, you are, obviously referring to the UDP and the and DOI. DOI has been there for close to 40 years this year, and the UDP 30 years this year. Well, neither party is as old as I am.
Yes, I mean, they've been around for decades, and generational change, people are evolving, and I think that would help with the proliferation that we see today with too many political parties. I think sometimes, we're not trying to underscore, the sacrifices they've made, but I think...
You're not trying to downplay, you mean?
Yeah, no, we're not trying to downplay, the sacrifices, they've made, right? But, sometimes... giving the next person the chance, the opportunity, because, the new generation, even younger than us, they're coming with a fresher mindset, different perspective, and they could relate more to that specific time frame. I think that also matters a lot. And it should be considered in our political, and I think that would help if people see there's more opportunity, like what PPP is doing today, giving me the opportunity to be their intended flag bearer, if other parties embrace that framework, you will see less parties in the Gambia. People will want to
work. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is absolutely true in the case of the UDP, because the fragmentation of that party was put down to the fact that the leader who was there from day one continues to be the leader to this day.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what conversations brought this merger around? How did the conversations begin?
Yes. I've always maintained open communication with any, political leader. And as you can see, we visited, Doyle's leader, Honorable Oseni Dabo, Honorable Tambajang as well. So, similarly, PPP and other political parties that we've never, went public to say, hey, we visited, but we've always had that open communication. And then, when the opportunity presented itself, like, hey, this is a party I'd like to affiliate myself with. Honorable Madike Fall is...
Yeah, but what kind of conversations did you have? I mean, before you go into the conversations you had with Honorable Madike Fall, when you met Honorable Listener Dabo, for instance, what did the two of you talk about?
That's a separate meet-up. It was more showing our respect and also, seeking wisdom and guidance, because he's been there for a while now, and we are brand new from entrepreneurship to politics. So it was more showing homage and respect. It's like coming to somebody's house, coming to somebody's town without visiting. The alcalo or, the chiefs, right? So you have to show respect. So, even the same with Madike Fall, Honorable Madike Fall, the first conversation we had was more an intro, like, hey, I'm leader of Golden Era Party. We have a pending registration with IEC, and we're looking to a path where, we can also collaborate in the future. So the initial conversation started that way, and then the more we had more conversations, I noticed, we have similar mindset, vision, and then, he's lived in the US for a while, so the exposure is there. I think he also gets it in terms of what's needed on the ground. So,
do you think that was why it was easy for him, to allow you to come in, and not just come in, but actually, be in line to represent his party, at the 2026 polls?
Yeah, I think that played a role, but obviously it's not a one-man party. There are other executives, there's a whole committee. So, I was upfront with my, political ambitions and presidential aspiration. So, so first they welcomed us in. We became a member of the party, before we even got to that conversation. And then also being an intended flag bearer, you'd also have to go through that ratification process, going through convention and everything. So they explained the whole process to me, and I was pleased. The conversation got even, up to that extent, and here we are.
Okay. And in terms of responsibilities, how are these shared between the Golden Era Party, your party, and the PPP, which you have now joined?
Yes. So we both have similar mindset. We're one entity now, basically. There's no segregation of, hey, this is still Golden Era, this is still PPP. We see ourselves as just PPP. So whatever we can do, to propel and move the party forward is what we do. So there's no segregation of, oh, you're still GP or, so every member, even our existing Golden Era Party, those that held executive positions, they've been given different positions within the party. So we've fully embraced each other, and we're trying to synergize, so that way we're just one entity, and we don't get the audience confused or the electors thinking, although we're from Golden Era, but we are one now. Yeah.
And what safeguards exist to ensure that Golden Era voices are not overshadowed within the PPP setup?
Yeah, if you look at your constitution, the flag bearer is a whole different role, and then we have the Secretary General. So there's that, and then we also have the Executive Committee. So everybody's voice is heard. Everybody could vote. Everybody could voice their opinion. So the structure is So yeah, just checks and balance. Within the party, it's not, like I said, it's not a one-man party. They have committees and executive structure as well, and then certain decisions have to go through those committees, before it's ratified.
Okay. And how do you personally see your role in the alliance?
It's a leadership role. It comes with a lot of responsibility as well, representing the party in good light, understanding the historical context of how we got here today and how the party has evolved. So, I've read a lot about, the party, and I'm continuing to learn more. And then I'm also, we're also creating a great relationship within the party, to foster unity within the party. So there are no distractions, and then we laser focus for the 2026 elections.
Mm-hmm. Well, PPP, by virtue of the fact that it's the party that led us to independence and produced the first president of this country, you'd assume that they have deep rural roots, whereas Golden Era would tend to resonate more with urban youths. How do you intend, to bring your different forces together to work in 2026?
Yeah, great question. We've already been, going to different communities, visiting, key people within this society, because a lot of people were initially PPP even before Jammeh came, and they seen the trend, they seen what's going on online. So we've been reaching out, going to different communities and letting them know, hey, we've merged. You guys were here before us. Some of them are in a different party, or they've actually not engaged in politics for a while. So we see the strength and value having that, older folks, that are 50 and up, and then, the 45 and under. So, that's a strength we're trying to target this demographic and see how we can, embrace both, because these are different generational gaps.
Okay. You mentioned strengths. I wouldn't say weaknesses, gaps. Where do you still see gaps that GEP and PPP together need to work on?
We've been very focused on sensitization, because sometimes the awareness is not there, especially in the rural communities. We need to let people know their voice matters. Their voice also counts. It helps, in decision making. So we've been doing a lot of those sensitization, because that's where the gap primarily is. Even among the youth, some have given up. They feel like whether they vote or not, the establishment will still stay the same. So actually, the gaps are affecting different age groups. So we've been doing our best to see how we can bridge that gap. Mm-hmm. It's not an easy task, but we've set up actually like a civic unit that will be focused more on education, enlightening the people, letting them understand the constitution of the party, and understanding the legal framework of politics and everything else, and reaching out to especially those people that
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the recent poll that came out that in effect says that unless all of you in the opposition come together behind one candidate and only one candidate, you stand very little chance, if at all, of unseating Barrow. How do you react to this Separas poll?
I feel like it needs to happen. There needs to be a grand coalition, because if you look at even MP,
so the Separas poll is right.
Yes, it's right. It is right, because the numbers. If people don't come together, we stay fragmented. It gives the incumbent the upper hand. Because if you look at MPP today, it's a merge of different parties. We have CA, Hamad Ba's party. It's not just MPP alone. So that tells you, the opposition definitely needs to put their differences. PPP is open-minded. We want to start having these dialogues. I personally, I'm always open. I'm reaching out to different leaders. movements and see how we can collaborate and come together. Because we're doing it for the betterment of Gambia. This is bigger than any program. It's bigger than any of us. So if we truly want change and our visions align.
And there's a good one, almost 20% out there, undecided voters.
Yeah,
how do you intend, to tap into this huge, voter base?
Yeah, we've been focused on that demographic. There's a lot of silent voters. They've never voted. Some of them are actually 25 today, 24. Because in the last election they were 19. But
several of them would be in this room with us. Huh?
Yes, exactly.
So maybe you should start your campaign right here.
Yeah, exactly. But we've been targeting that demographic, reaching out to certain groups, to target those voter base, because they're silent, but they would they could shake up the outcome of the election. So we already have those strategies in place, and we're reaching out to those people that would not typically participate, to be part of that. And if you look at even prior to even joining PPP, the people we've hand selected for executives role, they can actually relate more to these younger, these silent voters that we're talking about.
You spoke about the ruling alliance, the NPP and its parties. Of course, we've heard an independent candidate joining the UDP over the weekend. So how will you differentiate the NPP alliance, your own alliance with the PPP and other opposition blocs like UDP and Sware now?
Yeah, I believe the one with Sware was an endorsement.
Well, basically, he's abandoned his presidential ambitions to throw his weight behind Usainu Dabo.
Yes.
So whatever following he had, he would bring with him to the UDP. So that's an alliance.
Yes, it is. Yes. Now that we're part of PPP, we are fully integrated, within the party. We don't plan on fragmenting, regardless of the outcome of the election. So we're not just looking at this election cycle. We're looking at how we can empower the next generation of youth to even come to PPP, and then the opportunity will be there, just like the opportunity that was given to me. Maybe regardless of the outcome of the election, somebody in this room could be the flag bearer too, or when Madike decides to step down or resign, somebody else. As long as you're a member of PPP, you have that opportunity, to see yourself grow, quickly within the party, and getting that endorsement from other executives.
Yeah, but surely, you're not promising, flag bearership to every young person, because they all probably don't aspire to be party leaders. What does this, GEP, PPP alliance offer young Gambians apart from a path to rising to becoming, flag bearer one day?
Yes. We're evolving, the way we're thinking, our mindset. We're not stuck in the past. We are looking to, to create a path where every Gambian can see inclusivity. The way we think, how we can modernize, our political landscape, where people can focus more on the substance instead of the, chaos and distractions and things that don't actually add value to Gambians. So we want to set the bar high. We want to set the standards. So we want other youth to know, hey, being in politics doesn't mean you're automatically a toxic person. You want to engage in constructive dialogue. And we're not saying, or I'm not saying I have all the answers. He or she here may have, something to contribute that, we didn't even think about. So, yeah, we welcome all ideas.
And what, for you, is the substance now that people should, be considering rather than what you call the chaos and distractions?
Yes. Since I entered the political landscape, I've been more focused on how we can actually change Gambia. And when I say change Gambia, I'm talking about, complete overhaul, transformation, reforms, modernizing our infrastructure, how we can beautify Gambia.
Is that not happening? Look at the beautiful roads we have, the bridges. Come on. No laughing matter. They are there to be seen, Sawo.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to laugh, but you know,
it still tickled you.
It's funny because when let's set standards that can be globally recognized. I'm not trying to discredit the fact that, you know, they were able to complete this OIC road, but
not just that. Go to Basse. Have you been to Basse in the URR?
Yes, we've been to CRR, URR. Yes,
beautiful road network, eh?
Yeah, they're starting to do that, but
it's happening in the Nyomis. One road at a time.
Yes. We got to give them credit where it's due, but also we got to, you know, build the country with sense of urgency and not just headlines. There's a lot of things that are still, you know, a big issue within this country. You know, just like even before I came, you know, here today, you know, crossing the ferry is still a big hassle.
Oh, you had to cross with the ferry?
Yeah, we had a congress yesterday at North Bank at Fasenjaga.
Okay.
And, you know, we got to Barra at 4:30. You know, we couldn't board the ferry till 2 a.m. in the morning. So,
so apart from ferry issues, you know, what are the other issues that, you know?
Yeah, apart from ferry issues, you know, there has to be a sense of urgency. Gambia is such a small country. We need more road networks, you know. I mean, the effort they make.
I could do with a road at, you know, Bambo, London Corner. A new road.
Yes, but I'm saying we need to build at a faster rate, right? And let's build standard roads with good drainage. So that way we're not spending, you know, because like in business, there's something called total cost of ownership, right? If you look at what's happening in the Jaban Sukuta, that could have been done in the beginning and not coming back to doing it now, you know, redoing the road, you know, because look at the amount of waste having to redo the road. So we need to be more, you know, we should have like a blueprint, a national blueprint that will.
Well, they have a national blueprint. It's called the National Development Plan, NDP, and it even has a nickname now, NDP Yiriwa.
Yeah, but if they had that, so why do we, you know, look at the waste going on in that, you know, going back, you know, and it's a busy season for a lot of businesses. Gambia is very seasonal. This is when a lot of businesses do make money, you know, because when the rainy season comes from May to August, it's very slow. And then those businesses...
Rainy season in May in this country, we don't feel the rainy season until mid-July sometimes. And then you know, spills over to, I think, last year we had rains even in November.
Yeah, it could start anywhere from, because
the pattern seems to have changed.
Yeah, the patterns have changed, because I remember I was here 2021, 2022. It started a bit early, end of May. The rain started June, July. So I'm quite familiar. But last year it started around July. It was late, but it does change. So that affects businesses, you know. And you look at countries like America, they have, you know, millions of square kilometers of road network. But when they build roads, they have people working day shift and night shift. They build with a sense of urgency. That could have been a country who say, hey, we have enough roads, let's take our time. But they build with a sense of urgency. You know, when the day crew is finishing, the night crew is coming up, you know, to finish the job that the previous crew haven't. So they're moving fast with sense of urgency. And if you look at how we're building, it's slow, you know, and it's missing, you know, the drainage, and then, you know, like even the fiber optic cables, you know, a lot of countries are moving on to 5G. They put in good infrastructure. So some of these are missing in how they're building today. And then 2-3 years from now, we have to go back, you know, redig those, you know, you have to go back and redig and rebuild. And it's costing the taxpayers more money, actually. You're spending more money going back to fix something that could have been done right in the beginning. So what we're doing differently is we're looking at those type of inefficiencies and then saying, hey, we need to execute these projects better, you know, so that way we have better return, you know, as a country.
So tell me, I mean, what, you know, issues will you prioritize? And when I say you, the alliance between GEP and PPP, if elected?
Yeah, within the first 100 days, we want to focus more on restoring credibility in how we operate, you know, in terms of governance. Those are some of the things we're going to prioritize. So there need to be reforms, you know, within that first 100 days, you know, even, you know, amending the constitution, and then, you know, having that checks and balances in terms of the executive, the legislative branch, and then the judiciary as well. Because if you look at it today, it's like the president has like absolute power, you know, to appoint, to remove anybody. So we need to have checks and balances in that area. We can revive, you know, River Gambia to be an economic backbone. So these are some of the things we're going to focus on the first 100 days. So that will set the tone, you know, and, you know, for how it's no longer going to be business as usual. Like every ministry should have KPIs where we can actually benchmark their performance. So that way, if you're doing your job as a minister, you're exceeding those metrics, I, as the president, can just remove you, right? Because your performance will speak for itself, and people will be like, hey, he's doing his job, he's actually exceeded expectation. So we need to have more of a performance-based, ministry. So those are some of the things, and everything should be transparent, how we spend, and then how we actually, we need to digitize our procurement system. There's so much leakages, and so a lot needs to be done to actually, and we need more technocrats, people that are fully capable, the subject matter experts at different fields, engage, in nation building and have more diasporans. There's a lot of diasporans that are technocrats that I know personally, and having them in Gambia would be a blessing, because the country will move at
a much faster pace.
Yeah.